Survivors of the Newtown massacre are expected to return to classes this week in a different school. And as Terrell Brown reports, an attorney for one of the children is ready to go to court.
2 weeks after a gunman opened fire inside Sandy Hook Elementary, a New Haven lawyer is asking permission to sue the state of Connecticut for $100 million.
I'm saying for a fact that the state didn't do enough to provide for their safety.
Attorney Irving Pinsky represents the family of a 6-year-old identified only as Jill Doe in court papers. The child survived the shooting, but Pinsky says she was traumatized by what she saw and heard inside the school.
The whole thing came in over the intercom, down to the screaming and the cursing and the bang, 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 and her friends are dead.
Pinsky filed a claim last week charging that Connecticut school officials failed to protect the child from foreseeable harm, and as a result, she sustained emotional and psychological trauma and injury. In all, 20 children died in the attack, along with 6 adult staffers who were credited with trying to save lives. On Pinsky's Facebook page, hundreds of people have expressed outrage. Sickening, simply sickening, posted one user. Another wrote, should be disbarred and jailed for abuse of the system and trauma you caused to parents whose children actually died. Pinsky insists the lawsuit is not about money.
Hello, we didn't do enough. This never should have happened.
He claims his only mission is making schools safer. For CBS This Morning, Terrell Brown, New York.
And CBS News legal analyst Jack Ford is with us. Jack, good morning.
Anthony, good morning to you.
First of all, Jack, is there a case to be made here?
That is something that we're going to have to see how it plays out. A lot of legal experts are looking at this and saying that the chances of success are not so good. Here's why, real quickly, so that you understand. We have what's called sovereign immunity in this country. And that essentially means that you can't sue governmental entities the way you can sue private individuals or private entities. Goes back to English law, the notion that the king can do no harm. Right. Well, we don't have reference for a king, but we have the realization that governments don't have the ability to do everything for everybody. So the way our system has evolved, it says that only in limited circumstances can you successfully sue a governmental entity. And what you'd have to show in this situation is that what happened at Newtown was reasonably foreseeable. The incident itself was reasonably foreseeable, and that the governmental entities didn't take reasonable steps to protect against it. That's a pretty tough standard. Going forward, most legal experts, if you see talking about this, are going to say that would be a hard hill to climb.
So that's the legal part of this.
Right.
And then there's just the optics of this. And $100 million, the shooting was just on December 14th. Is it unseemly?
Yeah, I think there are two questions, Nora. The first is, does the lawyer have a right to do this? And the second is it the right thing to do now?
Right.
Answer to the first question is yes. If he truly believes that he can prove a case here, he has to, by law, make this application. Connecticut is interesting. You have to essentially apply, get permission to sue the government for things. Now, you have a year to do that. So you have a lot of time to do that. So legally, does it right to do it? Yes. Is it the right thing to do? Well, a lot of people, as we heard, are looking at this saying, you know, people have just been buried. People who gave their lives to save these children are part of the governmental entity here. Is this the right thing to be doing?
And he says he's representing a 6-year-old who survived the attack but has been subject to emotional pain and suffering, right?
Exactly. And you know, if you were going to see lawsuits filed, I think most people expected you'd see them file on behalf of victims who died. If there is going to be an issue here that has to get resolved. So that's, I think, another fact. And we don't want to diminish what the survivors are going to go through for the rest of their lives here. Just a horrendous episode. But I think that's another one of the factors that we're seeing people commenting about in terms of, is it the right thing to do now?
Well, as you point out, Jack, there's a lot of outrage on the internet about this case even being filed. I mean, but ultimately, that outrage doesn't affect anything legally.
Good point. I mean, it's out there, but ultimately what you have, Connecticut has a commissioner of claims who will make this decision, whether it's just and equitable for this to move forward. If it does, it would then be a trial before a judge, and you'd like to believe that whatever concern they might have as to propriety of timing, they will decide a case based upon the facts and the law.
All right, Jack Ford, thank you.